Some of the challenges that we faced in the old space was there was no air conditioning, and the furnace system was old, so it was quite noisy in the classrooms. Age was taking its toll. Also, we just had run out of space.
We were forced to utilize portable buildings because we were outgrowing those spaces, did not have secure entrances. Those were some really important things that our public said we need to address those. We just couldn't do it in our current buildings.
As a board member, I'm excited personally to have a set of new schools being developed for these kids.
ICAT's been engaged right from the start. We really wanted somebody to come in and assist us in identifying the greatest needs, setting priorities. You have experts that come in, identify those needs for you, what is compliant and what isn't, what's out of date and what isn't. That was done by the Estes crew and through the ICAT.
I was asked to be on this facilities committee for the district where they drew people from all over the area in different capacities of work and parents, alumni, and we started to look at with a firm to see the needs of the whole school system.
Waverly-Shell Rock School District has a tremendous community support, with Estes being at every one of our board meetings over the past couple of years, with photos, documents on what we needed to know when we visit with somebody at the grocery store or with somebody at a basketball game. How's it going at the school? And they have appreciated the whole procedure and the way it's been covered.
The teachers were listened to in the planning. I got to go to multiple schools in the state of Iowa and check out their facilities. We were able to point out things that we liked, features and structures that we felt would fit, paint colors, tile, carpet, millwork finishes. So it was fun to be a part of all of that.
It's excitement. I've seen that in the students, I've seen that in the staff. Who can't be excited about seeing natural light? There's not a dark spot in this whole school.
I love the media center being open and in the middle of everything. The secure entrance will also be a great addition. As a parent, you want to have that confirmation that that is available, and I can't wait for our kids to step through these doors.
The art room has its own designated space. The gym is only for PE, and it is beautiful with a wall of windows and doors overlooking the playground.
I'm really excited about the new playground. It's a lot bigger than the other ones that I had, and I think it's going to be really fun to play in.
Having new schools helps us show that Waverly is continuing to grow. We have already had such amazing teachers, but it really will keep them here, and it will show what a great school system Waverly has. When you invest in your community and your schools, it is always a win-win for everybody.
We're in great shape at the elementary level now. We're in great shape at the middle school level. We know down the road there are going to be some issues to address at the high school. Listen to the experts, architects, engineers, construction management firms. You can rely on those people to help you. We had a great experience with Estes Construction.